welcome back. This is Engineer Hussein. So in this video, we'll be looking at the question that was presented. All right, so let's look into it. So before we begin, do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Okay, so the question reads, a tortoise can run. Okay, so I don't really understand why I don't know, maybe it's just in my head. I don't know. My Zambian people like to call it toys. So the toys can run with the speed of 0.1 meters per second, and the hare can run 20 times as fast in a race. They both start at the same time, but the hare stops to rest for like 2 minutes. Then the tortoise wins by a share of 20 centimeters. So how long does the race take? Okay, so basically how we can do this is just to up a data. So let's just try and get this right. All right, so we have the tortoise versus this guy. So what we have to be mindful is this. We're saying the tortoise can run a speed of that. So let's look at this guy. So the speed of the tortoise is 0.1, and that is meters per second. And then the hare can run like 20 times as fast. So which means the speed of this guy is 20 times that of the tortoise speed, which means that this speed is now 20 times 0.1, which is equivalent to a value of 2 meters per second. So now we have the speeds. So we have understood the first part. So in the race, they both start at the same time. Okay, that makes so much sense. So they start at the same time, but at one point, the hare stops to rest for 2 minutes. Okay, so the hare will stop for 2 minutes. Okay, so let's look at the time now. The time, when this side, the time. Because I've been told that they both start at the same time, because now we're looking at the time variable here. Because here we looked at the speed, and now I have to talk about the time information. So they start at the same time, but one of them had to stop by 2 minutes. So this one for the tortoise, the time was just t. But for the hare, the time was 2 minus 2 minutes. T minus 2 minutes, sorry. So the time for the hare was t minus 2 minutes 2 seconds. That's like 2 times 60, which will give us 120 seconds. So that's the information about the time. And I've been told that the tortoise wins by a share of 20 centimeters. So the tortoise wins by the share, so that's basically the distance. So x of the tortoise is x plus the shell, which is 20 centimeters. Now, we don't really use centimeters, we use meters. So we convert that by dividing by 100. So x plus 20 divided by 100. So this will give us a value of 0.2 meters. So when they tell us that the tortoise wins by a share of 20 centimeters, this just tells us to say that the total distance of the journey was x plus 0.2 meters. And this was the total distance of the entire journey. But this guy, the hare, only covered a distance of x. Imagine like, okay, you're running with your friend, isn't it? So as you are running, let's say you're trying to run from some random points. Okay, according to the vicinity I'm in, imagine you're down school and you're trying to run to up school. So as you are running, one of your friends stops to rest for like some minutes, but you continue running, and then you reach up school just by a difference of like 20 centimeters. So which means that it's like your distance now plus that difference that was created when your friend stopped. I don't know if you get it, but that's what's going on here. Anyway, let me just try to solve it. So basically, when you do the variable separation on both sides of the tortoise and the hare, you can basically just find the time. In this case, you can find how long the race took. So all you have to do is that you can see that in this case, since we're looking at time, we can look at what we have clearly. We have speed, time, and the distance. So we can create, or we can use one of the equations for motion, which is the speed equation. Speed is equal to distance over what? Time. So I can use up this information for the tortoise and the hare. So speed of the tortoise, let's do it with tortoise. The tortoise is going to be 0.1 being equal to the distance x plus 0.2 over the time, which is basically t, because we don't know it. Of course, multiply, have x plus 0.2 being equal to 0.1 t. So this is my first equation. Equation 1. I can do the same thing. The speed this side is 2 being equal to the distance x over the time t minus 120. If I cross multiply, I'll have x being equal to 2 times t minus 120. Basically, x is equal to 2t minus 240. And I have the second what? Equation. So as you can see, I can use equation 2 to find the time in equation 1. So in equation 1, I'm having 0.1t being equal to x plus 0.2. So what I can do is just to say, okay, 0.1t is equal to x is 2t from equation 2 minus 240 plus 0.2. So 0.1t being equal to 2t minus 240 plus 0.2 rather. So if I do up the computation, this guy goes that side. I have 0.1 t minus 2t being equal to minus 240 plus 0.2. So 0.1 minus 2 to be minus 1.9 t being equal to minus 240 plus 0.2 will give me minus 239.8. I solve for t, divide by that, I basically have t being equivalent to 126.2105263 seconds. So I can round this off to time being equal to 126.2 seconds. So basically, all you have to do is to understand like the variables present in the question and know what's going on, because it's like you both start at the same time, then your friend stops, but you continue and you win by a share of a certain distance. So basically, that distance you covered plus the shell distance shows you the actual length of the journey. Then again, to know the time that you used up, we basically had to now use an equation for speed, because we had speed, time, and distance on both sides. So we had to use the speed equation to come up with some equations that we can substitute, because it's like they both start at the same time, so we can find means of marrying them together. All right, so now to find the length, which is b, what is the length of the race? So remember, I said that the length is the x plus 0.2. So in our equation, we just have to look for the x plus 0.2, which is equation 1. So x plus 0.2 is equal to 0.1 t. And the reason why I picked this one, the x plus 0.2 to be the final, is because the tortoise kept on running. The hare stopped. So which means the one that covered the entire distance was the tortoise. So that's why you have to get the information for the distance on the tortoise. I hope it's clear. But in as much, if you really need like just to think like outside the box, in case they told you to say, okay, find because I've been told that the tortoise stopped for rest like for 2 minutes. So like you can also determine like the time the tortoise took by using the time that you found and plugging it in the time equation there. But again, in this case, to find like the length of the race, we have to use the tortoise distance. But maybe if they ask you to say calculate, say maybe the distance of the distance covered by the hare. What you have to do is to plug the distance. When you find the distance, in this case, you find the value of x. That value of x that you solve, when you take this the other side, will be the distance of the hare. But in this case, we want the distance plus the shell, because this person stayed behind. So there was a shell distance that made the tortoise win, which is 0.2 meters. So if you find the value of x, you'll be finding the distance for this guy. But since this guy had to stop for a rest, say, the tortoise continued running and his distance changed, and he had a shell distance that he had to occupy. So x plus the shell distance is the final length. So it says 0.1 times the time, which we found as 126.25. So x plus 0.2 is basically 12.62 meters, and that was the length. I hope it's clear. If you have queries, you can always reach me on WhatsApp on the line 077 149 5252. Remember, slow progress is better than no progress. And I strategize before becoming a statistic. Let's try to push for that A+. Remember, at first glance, this might be a handful, but if you keep on watching the videos recursively, you get a hang of it.